Hey, what's up guys? Gangsta Jeweler here. So today we are going to be working on a ring that comes to us from Value Pawn, and it's a fairly nice ring. The only deal is I think the shank's a little too thin for my liking. I mean, there's still some life left in it, but it's a little bit thin. But we're supposed to size this to a 10. And this is it's like a tight, oh damn, it's 8.5. Look at that. Alright, so we're going to a 10. So what we're gonna have to do, we're going 1.5 sizes. So we're definitely gonna have to add gold to this for sure to make it bigger. So what we're going to do is let's go ahead and we're going to cut our ring right in the center at the bottom. Now the problem is I'm sure this has been sized before, being the size it is. So hopefully we don't have any pieces blow out on us. What you can do, I just don't do it because I'm a little lazy. You could put this up, boric acid alcohol it, and heat it up till you see a line. And you'll be able to see exactly where it's welded. But I usually don't do that. If a piece does blow out, I just go ahead and replace it if it's been sized before. That's just the way I do things. But if you want to check beforehand, you can heat the ring up, and if it's been sized before, you'll see the line where it was welded. Especially if they used easy or medium solder. I highly recommend you use hard solder on just about everything. I use hard solder on everything. I use hard solder for prongs, hollow chains, you name it. I recommend not using easy or medium or extra easy for that matter. Extra easy is just, oh geez. Extra easy, things be popping left and right with extra easy. Use hard on everything. Hard on everything. Now, if you use hard and then they go put it in bleach or chlorine, that's not your fault. You know? There's not much you can do about that. Now, being that we know that there might be a piece in here, we want to stretch this enough to where when we put our piece in there, that we don't have a lot of pressure on it. Because if there is a piece that's been put in there before from it being sized, and you put your piece in there and there's too much pressure against it, when you go to heat it up, that pressure will cause the piece that may have been put in there to go ahead and come out. So ideally you want to get it about a quarter size, to sit at about quarter size smaller than where you need it to be. And you want it to have the gap be open and not tight. Because like I said, you don't want a lot of pressure on that piece that we put in. So that looks like that's pretty good. Right there. So a little bit of pressure, but not too bad. Now what we need to do is this is going to be a fairly small piece we're going to put in there. So we need to find a... See if we can find one that's going to work here. Now, you should have sizing stock, but I don't have any made up right now, but I have plenty of pieces in here. If you got pieces, don't have sizing stock made up, you can use those pieces. It's just not a problem. And I did make a video a while back on how to make some, a lot of you guys starting out aren't going to have a furnace and make, you know, sling sizing stock out, you know, like several different pieces and sizes. You're probably going to have to make your sizing stock at the bench, which takes a little longer. But you can make your own sizing stock at the bench. I have a video a while back of explaining how to do that, in case you want to go back and check that out. think, let's see. I think this piece will work, but we're gonna have to cut it a little bit. Oh shit, I dropped it in the drawer. That's why it's good to have a drawer underneath you guys, so you can catch the shit you drop, because it's gonna happen. You're gonna drop stones, you're gonna drop gold. Happens to all of us. You want to have something underneath to catch all the shit you're dropping. Okay, yeah, so we need to cut. We cut a little bit off of that if we can. And better yet, instead of cutting, we'll just use our cutting disc to do that, to file it down a little bit. Y'all hear the friggin' Canadian geese? Alright, let's switch to our, so we don't lose our stuff, let's put our stuff back in the bottle here. Because if we were to tip that over and I had to pick all that shit up, I'd be mad. I've had to do that before. It's not fun. Alright, let's switch to our cutting disc, and we're just going to file that piece down a little bit. We're not going to cut it. Then I like to turn it sideways and try to cut it like a little bit groove in there, just to kind of help hold the piece together, or in the ring. Just a little groove. Okay. Now we gotta swap to the other side here. Now we're only going one size, so we only have to put just a little piece in there. Well, I say one size, a size and a half. Oh, damn. Hold on, gotta pause the video, guys. Drop the piece. Hold on. Alright, we recovered it. It's the only thing I hate about rings that are only going like one size or 1.5 sizes up. Because they'll, you gotta have these tiny little pieces. And you're more apt to drop those than anything else. I gotta adjust you guys a little bit here. Come on, straight. No, gotta start that one over. Let's try that again. And you want to make sure you get your piece in your pliers straight. These are kind of like locking. I call them locking pliers, but they're not really locking pliers per se. There we go. Alright, we got it straight now. And we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to file this in down just a little bit. And we probably need to file it down a little more. Then we're going to go ahead and cut a groove on this side as well. Alright. Now before we go put the piece in, we need to even out, smooth out these sides here with cutting this, just like we did with that piece. Just smooth them out, make them even. Alright, let's see how this is going to sit in there. I don't know if I like that. Need to open this up a little bit more. It's too much pressure on that piece. Open this ring up a little bit more. There we go. Now we don't have quite as much pressure on there. Alright, hold on. Let me put it this way, see what it does. There we go, I like that. Yeah, I think I like that. Okay. So we got our piece in there, sitting in there. Shouldn't be too snug. You got to have a little bit of snugness to hold it, but you don't want a lot of pressure. Go ahead and dip our whole ring in the boric acid denatured alcohol. And light her up. And we're going to be using a 5 tip here. I'm really hoping and praying that this wasn't sized with a, because of the size it is. I'm sure it's been sized, and I can't tell you how many times I get rings that easy solder's been used, and easy solder flows at a lower temp than hard solder, so then the piece that was put in will usually bow up or come out, which I am not a big fan of, but if it does, it does. And we need to go ahead and cut us 2 pieces here. We don't need very big pieces. Alright, and then let's go ahead and put us some flux on here. Flux her up. Alright guys, let's hope this piece don't blow out on us. If it does, well then we'll have to start over, but that's okay. If it does, it does. But we shouldn't have too much of a problem. Alright, we're going to start now. Just because this might have been sized, and I don't know if it's been sized with easy or medium or what they used, I'm going to get a piece of hard solder. I'm not going to pull it all the way through. I'm just going to get it partially through on one side, then get it pulled through on one side and then come back to that side and finish pulling it through. So I just basically want to get one side on there to kind of hold it. So what we're going to try to do Alright, we kind of got that side tacked on there. So let's go ahead and grab our other side. That's my best suggestion to you. If you suspect it's been sized before and you didn't check before if it's got lines, don't try to pull the solder all the way through. Just try to get one side through, like partially, then go back and weld the other side, and then go back to the other side and finish pulling it through. Alright, we got that side through. And this other side kind of tacked, but it kind of pulled off a little bit, so we're going to cut us another piece here. But see, by us just putting a little bit of a tack on that one side, that kind of, if there was a piece that was going to blow, that helps kind of stabilize it a little bit. If you know what I mean. There we go. Alright, let me zoom you guys back out here. These, we're not sure if those are diamonds, because I did not test them. I'm pretty sure they are, but to err on the side of caution, we're going to let that cool off. We'll stick it on the mandrel here to kind of help cool it a little faster. Ooh, it's hot. Hot, hot. All right. I think we can touch it now. You can see we got our piece welded in there nice and good. So now what we need to do, let's see where we're at in the size. We're almost like 9 3/4, but we're not quite rounded, so we're going to use our rubber mallet, kind of round it just a tad. And we're about a 1/4 size off. So let's grab our ball peen hammer, and we're just going to tap on this piece that we put in here a little bit. Now, before we go do any more tapping, I want to file the sides of that piece down real quick. So I think we're just going to use this because I don't want to use a real aggressive rock, because we don't need to file down a whole lot. Just want to file them sides down just a tiny little bit. Alright, and then you can see the shank is a little bit this way for some reason. So we're going to just put it right over here. We're going to just tap on it a little bit on the side, kind of straighten it back out a little bit. There we go, that looks a little better. Do a little more. There we go, that looks better. Let's see where we're sitting at. We are... So we're 10 on that side, not so much on this side. So we're just going to tap like this a little bit. Just very lightly tap like that. Yep, so we're 10 on that side, not quite a 10 on this side. See, 10 there, about a 10 there. And let's tap on the side of this shank a little more here, because it's, what it is the shank is kind of thin. It really needs a new shank on it. So when we're tapping on it, it's kind of going out like this. But they don't want a new shank on it. They just want it sized. So we're sizing it, but probably some point down the road, they're going to have to think about putting a new shank on this bad boy, because it is a little bit small. Width-wise, it's fine. It's the thickness that's... You can see that piece we put in is a lot thicker, but we're going to have to file that down to match the rest of the shank. But, you know, there's not really a whole lot we can do about that besides putting a new shank on it. It's a 10 that way. It's about a tight, it's like a tight 10, so we're not going to touch it anymore because we still got some more filing and polishing to do. So let's go ahead and let's file this inside real quick. With our rock here. Alright, let's switch to our other rock here. So we can do the outside. And remember, in an ideal world, the idea is to not be able to see where you, by the time you're done, you shouldn't be able to tell where you put the piece in at. If you've done it correctly. Alright, let's go ahead and file our sides down and make them even with the shank. And remember, we don't need a lot of pressure. Just very lightly. Just want to try to blend the shank in. Almost there. Okay, I think we're going to leave that like that. Let's do the other side here. Alright, let's go ahead and I need to tap on the shank again a little bit more. Straighten it out just a tad. Okay, now what we need to do is run over the corners of the shank here. Of that piece that we put in. Then we're going to kind of run across the top a couple times, kind of help blend it in with the shank. Alright guys, let's check our size again. So we're like a tight 10 there. See, 10 there. And kind of a tight 10 here. $10 on the money on that side. 10 on the money on that side. Okay. So let's go ahead and smooth the inside out first with our silicone wheel. Alright guys, let's let's go ahead and switch to our outer or our other silicone wheel so we can do the outer and the sides. Let's go ahead and drop this wedge and this mandrel back in the drawer there. Gonna hit the sides here a little bit. Alright, let's hit this other side here. Well, this shank is just thin, man. It needs a new shank in a bad way. Like I said, it's got a little life left in it, but it's getting almost that time to reshank this bad boy. It's about on its last leg. Alright guys, let's go ahead and check our size one more time here. So 10 and 10. Alright, 10 and 10. Nice. We just need to tap on that a little bit more. And then we need to file on it just a little bit more on the top here. Jeez, man. See that? There's like a little pit there, not where we welded it. It looks like where it was welded before. And I suspect it was easy solder, because usually when you use easy solder, sometimes medium, you'll get pits like that. And I think when we heated it up with our hard solder, it causes the easy solder to kind of boil up a little bit. Alright guys, I think we're good now. We're gonna go, I'm gonna drop this in the ultrasound, go polish it, and then we'll come back and look at the finished product, guys. I'll be right back. Alright guys, we're back with that ring. We got it nice, cleaned and polished. You can see we got it sized from a 8.5 to a 10. And that shank at some point is going to need to be reshanked. It's going to need a new shank at some point. That's a pretty thin shank. Width is fairly okay. It's the thickness, but there's nothing we can do about that until they're ready to put a new shank on it. So we got it sized from 8.5 to 10, and got it all cleaned and polished, looking good. But this is the Gangster Jeweler, guys. If you would like and subscribe, that would be fantastic. If you'd like to leave a tip or donation, the link for that will be down in the description, although it is not required. Just helps the channel grow, helps show some love. I appreciate you guys watching. If you'd like for me to do your repairs, you can visit my Etsy shop, which I'll have the link for that down in the description as well. Also, I have a kick stream where I do like a reaction, kind of like a reaction channel, and I'll have that down in the description as well. And then also my other YouTube channel, where I post basically post my live streams too, in case you miss them. But this is the Gangster Jeweler, guys. I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you on the next one, guys. Take care.